Fluffy pancakes on a Sunday is what dreams are made out of, and I've got the perfect recipe for you. These are my buttermilk pancakes with blueberries. Now, first of all, we need to separate 2 eggs. The way we make these super fluffy is by whisking the egg whites. So separating the eggs, and what I like to do, this is a little trick, if you're a bit worried about breaking your eggs, is just crack them directly into a bowl. So 2 eggs. And then use your hands to very carefully scoop out the yolk. Now this is easy to do when you've got gorgeous, fresh, free-range eggs, and we'll pop them into a jug, and that'll ensure that we don't get any of that yolk into the egg whites, because if there's egg yolk in the egg whites, it's going to be really hard to whisk them to go into those soft peaks. Now into the egg yolks, I'll add 1 cup of buttermilk, and the buttermilk makes these really tender and moist, along with some flavouring. So I love the addition of cinnamon. I'm using cinnamon because I know it goes so well with the blueberries. Give that a quick whisk, and then I'll put that to one side for a moment while I whisk my egg whites. Okay, these eggs have doubled in size, they're perfectly white and they're standing up. So now we can gently fold in our other wet mixture. Again, this is just going to give our pancakes a really light, fluffy consistency. That's our wet ingredients complete. You can see I'm just folding this through. I'm happy for there to be a few of those little spots that are the egg whites, because that's going to lift it even more. Now for the dry ingredients, self-raising flour, so we get that lovely lift on our pancakes. I like to sift it so it makes it even lighter. So 1 cup into a bowl, and we'll sift that in with a hint of bicarb soda, and then just shake that into the bowl. Now for some sweetness, a nice generous pinch of caster sugar. And I'll get my whisk again and make a little well in the centre and just mix those ingredients together. Always when you're baking and making pancakes like this, a little bit of salt is a great idea. So into the flour, and then we'll fold the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Scrape down those sides so we get all of that egg white in. And then with our spatula, just mix that really gently, folding and scraping the bottom. We don't want too many lumps, but we don't want to again mix it too much to activate the gluten. We just want that rise, so just gently mixing. See how there's little bubbles everywhere in this mix? That's a good sign. All of that flour is mixed in to the wet ingredients. Let's start making our pancakes. So a little bit of oil straight onto a pan. I'm just using a crepe pan because it has such a thin lip, which means it's really easy to flip over, but you can use any pan as long as it's non-stick. And you can hear that sizzle, which means it's a little bit hot, so I'm just going to turn that down because we don't want our pancakes to burn. We want them just to slowly rise and get lightly golden brown before we turn them. Big spoon, you can make these small ones or big ones. Small ones obviously are called little pikelets. I'm going to do a generous spoonful. And we'll start with 3, and they don't have to be perfect. Just spread them out so they're roughly the same size. And I can hear you saying from your lounge room, where are the blueberries? Well, this is the stage you add your blueberries. I love adding them when it just starts to set on the top. So gorgeous fresh blueberries for this. Frozen blueberries won't work for this because there's too much moisture, and we'll just scatter a few of those onto the batter, and now we wait. So you'll see some of the little bubbles start to pop. When you get a few of those, it's time to flip it over, and then I'll cook it for another 30 seconds and keep going on with the batch. These are going to be the best pancakes you'll ever make, and I like to show off those blueberries on top. So last one will flip. Look at that, see how they start to cook and blister? I love a big stack of pancakes, the stuff you see in movies, and you have to put a lot of maple syrup over the top and let it trickle down the sides. You can add a few more blueberries if you like. So you've got that contrast of fresh blueberries and cooked blueberries. And you can have some ice cream with this, but for breakfast, I like dollop cream on this. A nice, generous spoonful on the top, and just because, a little bit of cinnamon. They are my buttermilk pancakes. They are to die for, and there's nothing better than a Sunday morning when you've got nothing else to do but eat a whole stack of blueberry pancakes.